See if there's questions for staff or what have you.
Yeah,
It's just
I would never, like, I don't ever give distraction.
Number 610, Maria. Just grab the middle seat back there.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
Hi.
Good evening, Ms. Simon. How you doing?
How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for making time for us tonight.
Yeah, thanks for inviting. So.
So Maria, my name is Othaniel Sear. I'm mayor for the city of Inglewood. Thank you very much for making time for us tonight.
Yeah.
So tonight we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You'll have 10 minutes to answer those questions.
Okay.
If there's any time remaining at the end, you can ask any questions of us. So pretty simple,
Okay.
we would like to think. I'll be asking the first question, and then I'll go to my left, and we're going to do somewhat of a Z. So
Okay.
remember, Russell will be question 4, so just to
Okay.
make it difficult on you.
Perfect.
All right,
Perfect.
are you ready to begin?
Yes.
All right, so my first question for you, Maria, is what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
Yeah. So I have been living in Inglewood for just under 2 years. And this is my first time owning a house. And so I wanted to commit to the community that I've decided to buy into. And so this seems like a really good way to do that. I'm an architect by trade. And so this feels like a good way where I can both contribute and participate.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Mayor Pro Tem.
Good evening, Ms. Simon. I'm Joe Anderson, District 3 representative. My question for you tonight is what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to, I guess, P&Z or the Urban Renewal Authority? And in particular, how would you benefit Inglewood through your service on those boards?
Yeah, so I have been working in architecture for almost 20 years. I've worked on a wide variety of different types of projects, from large-scale civic and transportation projects down to small-scale residential remodels. And through that experience, I've learned all sorts of different ways of dealing with restrictions and codes and plans and kind of working with public and also working with private landholders. And really kind of figuring out how to get projects to kind of work through the existing systems. And so I'm really interested in being able to kind of leverage some of that experience and knowledge and also practice and seeing how other people have facilitated positions similar to what I would be stepping into in effective ways that follow the rules, but also are kind of sensitive to the needs and the kind of project situations. So, does that make sense?
Yeah, very good. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi, Maria.
Hi.
I'm Jack
Hi.
from District 2. Thanks for being here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
My question for you this evening is, can you please describe an experience in the past during which you've worked with a group of people who's diverse and sometimes opposing views or perspectives?
Ooh, great question. Yeah, actually. So I was working on an affordable housing project in downtown Denver somewhat recently. And the project was particularly challenging in the respect that the neighborhood was really not all that excited about having the project come in. But there was a lot of need for affordable housing in that particular community. So we spent a lot of time thinking about how to explain like who's going to be living in the space, how we were designing the units, as well as the parking and everything else related to what it means to put a big new project into a neighborhood. It really worked with the community to kind of basically share information and be available as resources to be able to kind of soften some of the impact of what we think the affordable housing project was going to have on the neighborhood. So it really was about listening and being able to understand the concerns and the fears of the neighborhood, and then being able to explain kind of how that was potentially going to be mitigated, but also to then integrate some of the concerns that were really unique to that particular neighborhood back into the design.
It's very thoughtful. Thank you.
Good evening, Maria. I'm Rita Russell, one of the council members at large. My question is, what do you like most about Inglewood?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I was just at the Inglewood Engaged conversation yesterday morning as a small business owner. I really like how accessible the all of you are really, and like how accessible, just in general, the city leaders are. I've come to some civic council meetings. I showed up at the housing authority meeting. I've just kind of shown up at various different things, and I've been welcomed everywhere that I've shown up. And you just don't see that everywhere. So I really appreciate, I think, the sense of community that not only exists within the kind of city leadership, but also within the communities themselves. So,
Great. Welcome to Englewood too.
thank you.
Hi, Maria. I'm Tina Prang. I'm also an at-large council member. And let me remember what question I'm supposed to ask you. What would you like to see improved in Englewood regarding planning and zoning or URA that you would like?
Yeah, I mean, I think that I don't have necessarily an answer for you on that. I think that there's a lot of listening that I still have to do before I would be able to necessarily say exactly what needed to be improved upon. And I think that, especially as a newer Englewood resident, and as potentially a newer participant in one or both of those groups, that I think that there's still listening to figure out like what the existing structure is and what the existing situation is before I would be willing to comment on how to improve on something. So, I mean, right now I want to participate because I respect the institutions and because I think they're functional. And I want to participate in a functional group, but in terms of providing criticism, I'm going to hold on that for a little while.
I appreciate that answer. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ward, I represent Council District 4, and my question for you is, are you able to attend the meetings?
Yes.
And you know when they are for both
They've
boards?
been, if I remember correctly, Thursday evenings?
Tuesdays.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, last question for me, Maria. We have a little bit under 4 minutes. So last question is, how will your service on this board benefit you as an Englewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
Yeah, I've actually been thinking a lot about that since I applied, because I think that, I originally wanted to just participate, and just to be a part of Englewood's future and, just to see what it would mean to be part of the civic leadership. I think it would benefit me personally by growing my understanding of how the city works better, and getting a better sense of who the community members are and what their concerns are. Kind of reflecting back on the Englewood Engaged conversation from yesterday, I was really kind of, there were people there that were talking a lot about crosswalks and about walkability. And out of all the things I had expected to walk into that meeting talking about, that wasn't one of them. But I think it reflects some of the concerns of Englewood residents that I don't necessarily run into on a day-to-day basis, but I'm also incredibly able-bodied. It doesn't take me 5 minutes to cross the street, it takes me 1. And so we were talking a lot about like crosswalk timing and like that kind of stuff. Which was actually a really enlightening conversation. So to circle back to the question, I think there's always a benefit in getting to know more people and getting to engage with people in a different context to understand what their concerns are. So I think personally, I think that's really helpful just in being a better citizen, a better community member. Professionally, I don't necessarily think that there would be a huge benefit to me. Like, I am an architect, my practice is in Englewood. I think it would maybe even benefit me more so just to get to know the codes better and get to know the structure better. So it's always good to be and get your head in the game on all of that regulatory stuff. But I don't necessarily see this as a stepping stone to growing my business.
So, no, that's great. Thank you so much, Maria. You still have about 90 seconds left, so any questions for us?
Oh my gosh.
I know you have some. There has to be something.
I always have like 100 questions, and it's like, how do you choose the best one?
Well, we have 90 seconds, so.
I know, 90 seconds. I know.
A 90
So
second
how
movie
fast can I
question.
talk? Oh gosh. What would you change about the Urban Renewal Authority and or the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Anybody have anything to add there?
Frankly, I think I'd sunset the Urban Renewal Authority, but we've been counseled against doing that. I've been on it since I came on to council and we have done nothing the entire time.
Okay,
It just lingers.
okay,
Apparently it's harder to erect one than it is
Right.
to keep one alive, so.
And then
okay,
planning and zoning is more quasi judicial, so
Right.
really they're supposed to do what they do, provide us information, and then we have to make, we're the judge, obviously, in terms of
Yeah.
the PUD or whatever happens to come right in front of us for that, from planning and zoning. Similar question came up yesterday. I think from my perspective is like, I'd like a little bit more detail about why they decided to move forward with the recommendation the way that they did. We're not able to listen in on their meetings either. So,
okay.
so basically it's just, we get the packet, we get information. So that may be not necessarily planning and zoning, that may be more what staff provides us. But I would just like a little bit more clarity on why they decided to move forward with something. A little bit more just POV from them.
Context.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But otherwise, yeah, I'm happy with the way things run, I guess, in a sense, so.
Great.
All right.
Cool.
So Maria, thank you very much for your time. We are at time. So we will be deliberating tonight. We make a final decision next Monday. Is it? I've been saying next Monday night, but it's actually Tuesday night because it's MLK.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's actually next Tuesday night. So next Tuesday night, we will be making a decision, after which somebody from the city clerk's office will reach out to you about placement.
Okay,
So thank you so much, Maria. It's
Yeah.
great to meet you. Thank you
So
very
nice
much
to
for your
meet you
willingness to
too.
serve. Yeah,
yeah, thanks so much.
thank you so much.
Good luck with the rest of the interviews.
Will do.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, thank you too. So, yeah, thank you.
Just hit me that next week. It's MLK.
Yeah.
Just one? Just the favorite?
You got one?
Who's your favorite?
Is your computer back up, Mayor?
Yes, it is.
So Dwayne Tucker was the other one.
I saw that, yeah.
Okay, so we've got Eric, and just go ahead and take a seat back there.
I am pay guy.
Oh, there you go. Good evening, Eric.
How you guys doing?
Doing well. How you doing?
Doing really well.
How do you pronounce your last name? Is it Reitz?
Rightsy.
Rightsy.
Yes.
Okay.
On public space.
Perfect. Well, Mr. Rightsy, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. I'm Daniel Sierra, Mayor for the City of Inglewood. Tonight, we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions. If there's any time remaining, you could ask any questions of us. So pretty simple. I'm going to be asking the first question, and we're going to do kind of a Z here. So next, question 2, question 3, and then Member Russell's going to be doing question 4, and so forth. So, any questions before we get started, Eric?
No, sounds good.
All right, I'm also going to be your timekeep, so let me get back to that.
Okay.
All right, so my first question for you, Mr. Rightsy, is what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
It's my home. I've always I have a background in sustainability and renewable energy, and that's kind of why I've focused on that. But Inglewood is my home. We have roots here. I mean, I grew up in Littleton. We have a house now, and I want to see the city improve. I want to see it grow and prosper and become a place that, I mean, we wanted to live here, but everybody wants to live. So I think there's a lot of good things going on right now. But I think that there's always room for improvement.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. Sorry, I got it. Rightsy. Rightsy. Thank you.
I actually live like 8 doors down from you, north of you,
Nice.
on the other side of Nassau.
Very good to meet you.
Yeah.
My question for you tonight is what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to, I guess, the Sustainability Commission? And how would Inglewood benefit from your service on that board?
So yeah, like I said earlier, I have a background in renewable energy, probably 20 plus years. I'm a mechanical engineer by education. I've done a lot of consulting work with large industrial companies. I trying to find ways to work in renewable energies into big industrial processes. So mining, oil and gas, water treatment, power plants, those kind of things. I actually currently own and run a business that we developed water treatment. So it's a technology that enhances evaporation. So we do work with a lot of oil and gas customers. So that actually just gets rid of their produced water, leaves the mess behind. So I'm very used to working with, you know, different people in different kind of situations, to kind of find that right avenue, kind of those innovative solutions to, you know, make being sustainable. And I think I'm also very good with kind of cost benefit type things. So is that project worth it? That's always a big question, you know, is that gonna give you the most bang for your buck? It's what I do every day, so. I think I can bring that kind of a lens to the role, and you know, give us the best projects that we can.
I like that. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Wrightsey, Jack Bethel from District 2. My question for you tonight, can you give us an example of a time that you worked with a group of diverse or competing points?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the last contract I negotiated was with a oil and gas company in West Texas. I spent a lot of time in West Texas. That's just the nature of our technology and how we work. And there's a lot of people in the oil and gas industry that don't want to see a solar-powered water treatment system installed on their land. They don't want anything to do with it. Yeah, we actually, during the negotiations of those contracts, have to have the lawyers step in and tell those guys to take it down a notch. I mean, there's F-bombs being dropped, and it's a very hostile situation. But you know, you try to understand where everybody's coming from, and you work with that kind of a crowd, and you know that's going to happen, and you can work through it. You know, everybody has common ground somewhere.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Of course.
Good evening, Mr. Wrightsey. I'm Rita Russell, one of the at-large council members. Nice to have you here this evening. My question for you is, what do you like most about Englewood?
Gosh. I like the feel of Englewood. I like that it's not new and shiny like a Highlands Ranch area. There's a lot of character. There's a lot of people that have been here, but there's also a lot of new families and a lot of new groups that are coming in, and kind of all of that merging together. I like the access to Denver, but not being in Denver. I like access to the mountains. Like I said, I grew up in Littleton. My father lives up 285. I can shoot down 285. You know, I've lived in Colorado my whole life. I've not moved because I love it here. And we thought Englewood was a great place. I love all the small businesses, all the little restaurants on the main strip, and trying new things. And I think I saw you at the pre-opening to Working Class. Mm-hmm. So all of that happening here, it feels like it's got a life. It's got a, you know, character, and I really appreciate that.
That's great. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Wrightsey. I'm Tina Prang. I'm also an at-large council member. Can you tell us what you'd like to see improved in Englewood pertaining to, is it Parks and Rec and sustainability?
Sustainability? You know, I'm admittedly, I probably don't know all of the things that are happening in terms of sustainability. But I do think there's always room for improvement, and I think that there's probably some really easy kind of things to knock off the list in terms of like recycling. And yeah, we have recycling, but there's 10 different spots for it, you need 10 different providers, and you know, composting and food waste and solar panels on parking lots and things like that I would have to dig into those kind of ideas more. Like I said, there's going to be a cost benefit to all of that, but I feel like there's some ideas, you know, around sustainability that could be really quick and implemented and be very effective. So yeah, exactly what I said. You know, I don't know what the Parks and Rec department is doing for composting or biochar or any of those ideas, but that's kind of what I did before I started my company was consulting, finding out where those kind of pain points are, where we can improve on any of those processes.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ward, I represent Council District 4, and my question for you is, are you able to attend the regularly scheduled meetings of these committees?
That's an easy one. Yeah, I control my own schedule, so, I mean, I might have a weird, if something blows up in Texas and I gotta get down there, then, yeah, I might miss one, but I control my own schedule, so.
Awesome, thank you.
Hopefully not literally.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, you would be surprised. It's always amazing what they manage to pull off down there, and you're like, how did you?
I got a funny story for you about oil and gas, but.
Okay.
But anyway, so last question for me, and we still have a little bit over 2 minutes. How will your service on this board benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
It makes my home and my community better. I mean, I have really no skin in this game, other than I want to see the community improve and keep better. There's always room for improvement, and that's how I'll personally benefit, making Inglewood a better place to live.
Great. All right, so we have just under 2 minutes. Any questions for us, Mr. Wrightsey?
I don't think so. I mean, I did a little bit of research on this. Do the meetings kind of happen like this? Do they take place? Do they?
Yeah, actually, the sustainability actually happens in this room. Parks and Rec, where is Parks and Rec at?
We move around the city, so sometimes outside at parks, sometimes in this room, rec center, Malley Center, try to move around and kind of touch all of the places that we're talking about essentially.
Okay. Are there anything in terms of, I know Parks just got a huge sum of money to be redoing a bunch of new parks. Is that, how involved does the council get in that kind of a thing?
I mean, decisions have been made largely, but we do get updates on kind of ongoing conversations with the community. So while the bond, outline general ideas for park improvements, there's still ongoing conversations about fine tuning some of those details within given communities. And then there is also a couple of liaisons from the commission that participate in an oversight committee for the finances behind that bond.
And same with sustainability. Are there any large projects going on with sustainability? I saw EV charging and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they'll weigh in on those type of things. Not necessarily larger projects. They've done. I think they are rolling out some biochar projects. There's one at the rec center, and they're really doing like pilot tests to see if they can roll it out in other parts of the city. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. They also have some of the funding from the plastic bag fee that they are able to utilize towards other projects. The big one that we did recently was, we did it in August of last year. What was that thing called? The waste diversion project.
Is that the biogas?
No, it's something different.
Okay.
So they had us look at whether it's, I remember one of them, which I don't think we moved forward with, was construction, materials recycling, that type of thing.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So they looked at, I think there was about 9 categories that they looked at. There was actually like waste management diversion aspect that they worked with Republic and waste management on. So things like that they're looking to start with pilot programs and see if we can utilize it across all of Inglewood. So things like that you'll discuss.
Yeah, very cool. Okay.
Well, Mr. Wrightsey, we are at time. And by the way, the story that I have for you, oil and gas, I actually drive a Tesla. I have oil and gas customers. I rented cars to go to their facilities. So I wouldn't go through the situation that you went through.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so we are deliberating tonight. We'll make a final decision next Tuesday night since MLK Day on Monday.
Okay.
After which the city clerk's office will reach out to you about final placement. So
Perfect.
but it's great to meet you. Thank you very much for making time and your willingness to serve.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you so
for
much.
all serving as well, right?
Have a good evening.
You do the same.
Thank
See you,
you.
neighbors.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
Good
meet you.
night.
Take care.
You should see the look of my coworkers when I walk into the office with my bike helmet.
I don't think it's as bad as driving up in a Tesla to
You might be right.
Windsor. Yeah.
So, all right, you got Carrie. Just go ahead and sit back in the middle seat there and hello.
Hello, Carrie. Is the last name pronounced Gillian?
Gilliland.
Gilliland. Yeah, close. Well, Ms. Gilliland, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. I'm Nathaniel Sierra, Mayor for the City of Inglewood. Tonight, we're going to be asking you 7 questions. There's 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes to answer those questions.
Okay.
If there's any time remaining at the end, you can ask any questions of us. So
Okay.
I'll be asking the first question, then we'll be going to my left and then kind of do a Z to Member Russell. So.
Okay.
All right, are you ready to begin?
Yeah.
All right, perfect. So my first question for you, Carrie, is what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
Yeah. Well, I'm a 15-year nonprofit communicator. And I have a background in public health, but more recently, public lands. So the Parks and Recreation Commission is of great interest to me just because through my career, I've came to understand just how much our public lands and parks benefit health and well-being of residents. And I think I have a unique role to play in supporting that work.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Gilliland. I'm Joe Anderson, District 3 Council Member. And my question for you is what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the Parks and Rec Commission? And how would Inglewood benefit through your service on that board?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I am a career nonprofit communicator, and that experience runs the gambit. So earned media, events, marketing. You think of it, I've done it in communications. And I think that is a very valuable skill for the Parks and Recreation Commission and just thinking about ways that we can engage the community in parks and recreation, getting out and enjoying our parks and public lands. Also, I think just my experience at the Colorado Health Foundation was pretty pivotal for me in terms of really understanding the inextricable link between the health of our community and the health of our residents as it relates to the public places that we're getting to engage in, such as our parks, our green spaces, and the connectivity to those places. And so I think that deep understanding would help me thrive in a position like that. And then more recently in my role at the Wilderness Society, my first 2 years there, I supported urban access to parks and public lands in my role as a communications professional. So we were really advocating for better access to parks and public lands and quality amenities for communities that historically didn't have access to parks or quality amenities. And I'll stop there. Thanks for the question.
Appreciate that answer. Hi, my name is Jack. I'm from District 2. Can you please give us an example in the past in which you worked with a group of diverse or sometimes opposing perspectives?
Yeah. I think my experience at both the Colorado Health Foundation and the Wilderness Society have been rich with engaging with folks from diverse backgrounds, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, different age groups. In my role at the Wilderness Society, I engage with coalitions often, providing strategic communication support for the work. Here in Colorado, I've worked really closely with the coalition who supports the Colorado Outdoor Equity Grant Program. And that coalition has very, very diverse representation from groups that are often smaller grassroots groups. Oftentimes people have differing ideas and opinions, so trying to bring people together around shared goals and work our way through those differences. I think the coalition experience that I've gained at my time at the Wilderness Society has been pretty substantial and is just really rooted in equity principles. So really thinking about like listening first, building trust, building relationships that are meaningful, and using those relationships to kind of push forward the goals that you're working towards.
Excellent, thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Gilliland. My name is Rita Russell, and I'm one of the at-large city council members. It's great to have you here this evening, and I get the best question. What is it that you like most about Inglewood?
Yeah, so I'm born and raised in Colorado. I was born in Denver, raised in Littleton. I've spent my entire life in Colorado. I lived in Inglewood when I was in my 20s as a renter, and then I moved to Denver and rented there and kind of did like the big city thing for a while. And then me and my husband came back to Inglewood, bought a home, and kind of settled here. So I really like Inglewood because it has great access to the city and the amenities that are afforded by living in the Front Range, but also a 15-minute drive and you're on a trailhead in the mountains. It's a smaller community, which I really like. I spent some time in Southwest Colorado and really just appreciated living in a smaller, tight-knit community where I know my neighbors, where we get together, where I know I can go to someone's store and ask for some spices or some sugar or things like that. So I think just that it's a smaller, tight-knit community with the perks of being close to a big city.
Great. Thank you.
Good evening, Ms. Gilliland. You look so familiar to me.
We met.
Did we meet at the South Broadway Revitalization
Yep.
Conversation?
We did. Yeah, we had a nice
Yes.
conversation.
Tina Prang, at-large council member. Can you tell us what you'd like to see improved about Inglewood regarding the board or commission that you applied for?
Yeah, so I think one thing that I'm a proud dog mom and an outdoor enthusiast, so I really enjoy spending time at our parks, at our rec center. One thing that I think that we would benefit greatly from in Inglewood is just better connectivity to parks. So just thinking of ways that we can connect those green spaces together for more continuity. I know that we're limited in creating new parks necessarily for the area, and we have great parks as it is, but just creating better connectivity. So even just being able to get to parks a little easier, I think is something that we would benefit from.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
I am Steve Ward, representing Council District 4. And my question for you is, are you able to attend the meetings, which I believe are on the second Thursday at 5:30 p.m.?
I am, yes.
Excellent.
Thanks.
All right, the last question for me is, how will service on this board benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either professionally or personally?
Yeah, I think professionally, I'm always looking for opportunities to kind of expand my horizon on the leadership front. So just dabbling in different opportunities that give me a depth and breadth of experience that I'm going to get outside of my 9-to-5 job. As far as being a resident of Inglewood goes, last year I participated in the Elevate Inglewood Leadership Program. And what drove me to do that was just really feeling like I wanted to be more involved in my community. And that was a really, really great window into understanding Inglewood better and what opportunities there are for residents. So I kind of see this as the next step for me from the Elevate Inglewood Leadership Program into being more of an active part of my community.
Cool. Well, glad that you were able to participate. So
Yeah, thank you.
we still have about 90 seconds left. Any questions for us?
Yeah, my main question is, what is it that you find to be beneficial about having residents participate in board and commission?
Do y'all want me to take this one, or?
I think this body can turn into an echo chamber if we don't have some outside advice. We hear regularly from staff, and having boards and commissions really helps us understand how information is traveling through the community and what community members who aren't constantly on the inside like we are think about some of the things that we're doing and what they want out of us.
Great, thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah, I concur with that.
Okay, great. I don't have any other questions. Thank you so much for your time and for your consideration.
No, same here. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve. So this is the last night of the 2-day interviews that we're conducting. So we'll deliberate tonight. We'll make a final decision next Tuesday night due to FLK Day. And then from there, somebody from the city clerk's office should reach out to you about placement. But it
Okay,
was great to meet you. Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
thank you.
Yeah, and we'll be in touch.
All right, y'all have a great
Yeah,
night.
have a great evening.
Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
in. Lightning interviews. So that Mason has-
Okay, you got Sherry. Just go ahead and have a seat in the middle chair back there.
Oh, really?
Good evening, Sherry.
Hi.
How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for coming.
Of course.
Thanks for interviewing with us tonight. Is it Ms. Awalt?
Awalt.
Awalt. Ms. Awalt, my name is Othaniel Sierra, Mayor of the City of Inglewood. We're going to be asking you 7 questions. You'll have 10 minutes to answer those questions. If there's time available at the end, you're able to ask any questions of us. So,
Okay, sure.
I'll be asking the first question, then we'll be going to my left and then kind of do a Z here for the remaining questions. So, I'm also going to be your timekeeper, and I keep setting that up. All right. So, are you ready to begin?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, perfect. So my first question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
Yeah, so I'm applying to be on the Arts Commission. I'm new to the Inglewood area. I moved to Colorado in April of this year from Sacramento, California. I was very heavily involved in the arts in Sacramento, lots of experience working in galleries. I'm actually currently working at the Curtis Center for the Arts in Greenwood Village. And I'm just looking for ways to get more connected to the arts community now that I reside here in Inglewood.
Well, this will do it. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Of course.
Good evening, Ms. Awalt. My name is Joe Anderson. I am District 3 representative. And my question for you tonight is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the Cultural Arts Commission, and how would Inglewood benefit from your service on that board?
Sure. So like I said, I have a lot of experience in galleries and sort of the arts in general, including I have served in a staff capacity for a lot of boards, so I'm familiar with a lot of what the boards, what they seek to do for the city. Most of my experience is in nonprofits board situations, so like fundraising and stuff like that. The Curtis Center for the Arts is actually an entity of Greenwood Village, so I'm sort of getting more experience with a municipality board situation. But, I think I bring a lot of expertise in terms of like public art, arts administration, connecting with artists and building a really supportive, creative community. And I know, Broadway's kind of being revitalized, and I'm familiar with a lot of the great galleries there and would love to, serve as a liaison sort of between the city and the broader creative community.
Very good, thank you.
Sure.
Good evening, I'm Jack, I'm from District 2. Can you please describe an experience in the past in which you worked with a group of people with diverse perspectives and views?
Sure. I have worked on many exhibitions with large groups of artists. Specifically, there was a program in Sacramento called Sac Open Studios that we did every year. It was a citywide art studio tour that usually involved 250 plus artists. There was a component where we're creating a map for the public to be able to find the different studios. There was a component for an on-site exhibition, and just a lot of cooks in the kitchen if you have 250 plus people, all with different sort of expectations for what they're going to get out of this program or what they can bring to it. So I definitely have a lot of experience just kind of managing expectations. I try to be really open in my communication with people and make sure that, both sides are sort of
getting the most benefit that they can out of a program like that. I don't know if Inglewood has a studio tour, but I think that would be an incredible idea. And so, yeah, I can speak to that expertise. Sure.
Good evening, Ms. Awalt. I'm Rita Russell, one of the at-large council members. Nice to have you here this evening. My question is, what do you like most about Inglewood?
Oh, man, I've really been loving, I've only been here a few months, but like I said, I'm familiar with the art galleries on Broadway, so I like to go out for the first Fridays. I love that. My husband and I really love walking around our neighborhood, getting to know our neighbors. It's just like the exact sort of lifestyle we were looking for. We're also really fortunate. My sister has been a resident of Inglewood for the last 17 years. And so she's on the 3900 block of Bannock. I'm on the 3900 block of Logan. The family connections there, it's just been a great experience.
Great to have you too.
Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Tina Prang, I'm also an at-large council member. Can you tell us what you'd like to see improved about Inglewood regarding the Cultural Arts Commission?
Sure. Truthfully, I was looking through the little sort of Inglewood magazine out there while I was waiting, and it seems like there's a lot of programming for the senior demographic and a lot of programming for youth, but not a ton for the teen to adult age groups. So I would love to see some more class offerings, maybe partnerships with galleries that can kind of feed into that. More galleries in general, always welcome. But yeah, some more programming like that. I'm not aware of any sort of municipal run galleries within the city, but that would certainly take time and a lot of initiative to build, but I think that would be incredible. A really great opportunity for the city and for the arts community within the city. Thank you. Sure.
I'm Steve Ward. I represent Council District 4 in Southwest Inglewood. I have the easiest question of the night because as I was looking through your resume, you already answered it. Are you available to attend the meetings?
Yes, I presume they're evenings.
Yes, it says for Cultural Arts Committee, first Wednesday of each month at 5:45 p.m.
Absolutely, I'm available.
Great. Last question for me is, how would this service on this board benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either professionally or personally?
I think it would really help me build a network within the arts as a newcomer to the scene. It would, offer me the opportunity to connect with local artists, local arts organizations, other, board members who are passionate about the arts, which is really my motivation for applying for the seat. Like I said, I was really heavily involved in the arts. I had about 8 years of experience in Sacramento. So I had a lot of connections and, was able to facilitate, this artist would be fantastic for this show and make an invitation. So really the networking connections I think would be a huge benefit to me, and I would love to, offer my expertise and enthusiasm and help the city of Inglewood too.
Sounds great, Sherry. Again, a lot of artists on that board, so.
Great.
We have a little bit over 3 minutes. Any questions for us?
I guess my biggest question is what is sort of the vision for the cultural arts in Inglewood?
I was going to say the liaison, or the city council member that was the liaison to the board, just rolled off in November. She decided not to rerun. So I went for my first meeting this past Wednesday. Yeah, last week. So a lot of what they're doing is looking to, well, they identified last year that there's 3 new pieces that are going to be going in.
Okay.
They're looking to obviously just increase the number of artist pieces, pieces across the city.
So
They were
public art?
What's that? Yeah,
Public
public art, yeah. So they were looking to do it on Hampton,
Okay.
but then we ran into an issue with CDOT.
Okay.
So that's not going to happen, but those 3 pieces are going to go somewhere on Broadway.
Okay.
They're also, one of the other things that they're really looking at is just making sure that they can maintain the current pieces that we have in place today.
Sure.
Have partnerships with studios, that type of thing, because they do have 1% of the capital funds comes from the city each year.
Okay.
And so they use that funding for those type of programs, and obviously the existing pieces in place. So I'm trying to think, I can't really speak more to their vision that they happen to have at this point, but
Sure.
yes, it's really just building that connection and really looking to increase the supply of funding, but also engage the local artist community as well.
Great.
Actually, the other thing is that they're looking to paint a mural within the Malley Center, the rec center. So that's the new thing that they voted on this past Wednesday, so they're looking for local artists to paint that mural. So.
Okay, so they'll be putting out an RFP.
Yeah, and actually, I think they started posting that they said they were gonna start posting it on social media pretty quickly, so.
Great, fantastic. Okay, yeah, I think that's my main question, so just look forward to getting more involved.
So that's great. So Sherry, so we will deliberate tonight. We'll make a final decision next Tuesday night in terms of placement.
Okay.
After which you'll hear from our city clerk's office about future placement, and then first meeting would be in February.
Okay,
So,
fantastic.
all right. Well, Sherry, thank you so much. Welcome to
Thank you.
Inglewood. and
Thanks for
thank you very
having
much for your willingness to serve.
Absolutely, thank you guys.
Have a good night.
Nice to meet you.
too.
Dave, who's your favorite artist?
Can I say Dolan? Dolan Diamond? Oh, Dolan's here. Dolan's based out of Inglewood. Yeah. He's got a big studio on Bates.
Eric, and he's going to have that
Bye.
little one back there.
Hello, Eric.
Hi, how's it going?
Doing well. How you doing?
Pretty good.
I'm assuming your last name is also pronounced Gilliland.
Gilliland, yes.
Gilliland.
Yes, sir.
Just noticed that. So, all right, perfect. So thanks for making time for us tonight. Eric, my name is Daniel Sierra. I'm the mayor for the city of Inglewood. We're going to be asking you 7 questions tonight. You'll have 10 minutes to answer those questions. If there's any time remaining, you could ask any questions of us. So,
Cool.
I'll be asking the first question, then we'll be moving to my left, and then down the row with Member Russell with question 4. So, are you ready to begin?
Can you just remind me, because I signed up for a few different board positions?
What is it that you want to be placed on? Is that the question? It's the urban renewal is what I have on the sheet.
Urban renewal, all right.
Are you interested in any others?
Yeah, anything related to infrastructure.
Okay. Maybe transportation, I guess, in a sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But urban renewal sounds great.
Sounds great. All right, so my first question for you, Eric, is what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
Because I live in the community and I want to make it a better place.
Sounds great. Speaks the point.
Good evening, Mr. Gilliland. My name is Joe Anderson. I'm the District 3 Council Representative. My question for you is what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the board that you've applied for, and how would Inglewood benefit from your service on that board?
Sure. I'm a civil engineer by trade and experience, so I think just having a pretty solid understanding of how, urban development gets built, how it comes together and how to do it to make sure that stakeholders, community members are taken into consideration, how to develop your city in a manner that is both, friendly towards commerce, but also friendly towards, community engagement is something that I see a lot of opportunities in here in Inglewood, a lot of room for improvement, honestly. And because I see those things, because I have training and experience with those kind of aspects of urban design, I feel like I'd be a really good fit. So.
Very good, thank you.
Good evening, Jack Bethel from District 2.
Hi.
Can you give us an example of a time that you worked with a diverse group of folks with opposing perspectives?
Diverse group of folks with opposing perspectives. That's pretty common in most workplaces. Everyone has opposing perspectives on how to solve a problem, which is typically what I'm doing in my work with engineering problems, obviously. When you say diverse group of people, I'm not thinking about it in terms of like racially diverse or gender diverse. I'm just thinking about it in terms of everyone has a different opinion on how to solve a problem, And so typically the best approach, in my opinion, for solving a problem is to listen, being able to listen and understand the perspectives of others that may see things differently than you is really valuable. So you start off, you exhibit the fact that you understand what their perspective is, what their concerns are, and if there's any kind of like separation or any kind of like disagreement there, just the act of saying, I understand, and showing that you understand somebody else's point of view that may see things differently than you is really valuable and kind of like pushing towards getting something passed that you want, that you believe in, that you think would be successful. That being said, I do believe that in politics in general, there's typically a lot of compromises that need to be made. So somebody's always going to be upset, you know. Yeah.
Good evening, Mr. Gilliland. I'm Rita Russell, one of the at-large council members. So what is it that you like most about Englewood?
What I like most about Englewood is accessibility to other areas in the metro area. Specifically, the light rail station, I use it all the time when I want to get to the city. So that's really valuable to me. The Englewood Rec Center, which I went to right before I came here to this interview, I really enjoy using the rec center. It's really close to my house, so I can bike there. The climbing gym, which is also really close to my house, I can ride my bike there. And then what I like about it is there are some really good restaurants around. Zomo is amazing. It's a really, really great place to eat. And I think there's a lot of opportunity for like growth of community here. I don't know, I think it's an up and coming community, and I think that it's going to be like a really nice place to be in the coming decades.
Okay, great, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Tina Prang, I'm also an at-large council member. Can you tell us what you would like to see improved about Englewood relating to URA?
And related to what?
Urban renewal.
And related
That's
to
what you're
urban
applying for,
renewal?
right? Keep it straight.
Gosh, you know, the term urban renewal, like, first you have to define it. You know, what does it mean, urban renewal? Like, the way I would define urban renewal is, you know, first the assumption is that Englewood is an urban location, right? Can we agree that Englewood is urban? You know, I'm not really sure. So is it, are we talking about renewing our somewhat urban, suburban area? What are we renewing it into, you know? What I would improve personally is multimodal access. I believe that having a 6-lane highway on the south face of the city center is really great for access if you want to drive here. But riding my bike here, I had to sit at a traffic light with cars speeding by me at 60 miles an hour, scared for my life. And there just has to be, you know, safer ways for people to get around, people that can't drive, for example. You know, people that prefer to walk. There's more than one way to get around in this city. And I would like to see this city improve in terms of how to get around. Now, I'm not saying that we need to like close lanes and completely overhaul everything. I don't want to do that. I'm a civil engineer. Like, I know what that means for business and commerce, but there is room for improvement. There certainly is. There's more space for people to get around. And honestly, if people feel safer here, pedestrians and cyclists in particular, if they feel safer here, more people will move here. There will be more tax revenue. Property values will go up. You know, and to make sure that I cover all bases in terms of kind of my argument there, I also want to ensure that we don't completely gentrify this city. I really don't want to see that. I want us to retain our culture, retain our identity. I want to retain our historical identity, and I think that there's a balance. There's something that we can find there. And, that's what I'd like to get involved with.
Excellent answer, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm Steve Ward, I represent Council District 4, and my question for you is, are you able to attend the regular meetings?
How frequently?
Once a year.
Yeah. I mean, what am I, if I only have to go once a year? What else am I doing?
We're counting on you to shake it up.
Yeah, I can attend once a year.
Well, I was gonna say, is like, if you're interested in other infrastructure, ETAC meets, the Transportation Advisory meets once a quarter, and then the other one just that kind of deals with planning and zoning, or with infrastructure planning and zoning. They're twice a month, I believe. So, anyway, just since you asked for others that may have that component, so. Last question for you is, how will your service on this board benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either personally or professionally?
I think professionally, it'll just give me some leadership experience, personally, it'll make me more invested in my community, which I think is always a valuable thing to do. Those are the two main things I thought about when I signed up for the board interviews. I was like, sure, I'll do this. Seems cool, And then when I actually scheduled it, I was like, okay, I'm showing up. This means that I care enough to actually show up for the interview. And, now that I'm here, it's like, we've been living here for about 4 years now, going on 6 years come November. We've been here long enough that I think we want to stick around and make this place our home, and so being involved on a board is a really good way for me to feel like I have a stake in my community, and I think that's important.
Yeah. So. Yeah, we're at time. Yeah, you'll meet some fantastic people on the boards. It's a lot of similar-minded people that take part that also are just trying to get back to the community. So we're very appreciative of that, and so we thank you for your time. I'm not sure if there's any last words that you want to say.
Oh, thanks everyone. Yeah.
Yeah. So Eric, we will be deliberating tonight. We make a final decision next Tuesday night, after which the city clerk's office will reach out to you about placement. So,
okay.
But thank you very much for making time for us.
Yeah,
we'll speak to you soon.
Okay, have a great night.
Have a good night, man.
Yeah. Nice to meet you, thank you.
Thanks.
Next.
Christopher. The architect who was one of those things. He's got a book called Pattern Language. And he's kind of an anti-modernist, so he's.
All right, we've got Andy, and then you can sit back in the back there.
All right.
I don't have to go.
Good evening, Andy.
How's the gauntlet going? You survived?
We're towards the end now.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, you're getting us at our best. Andy,
Great.
so
I mean, day 2, 7 o'clock, I'm ready.
Andy, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. My name is Nathaniel Sierra, I'm mayor for the city of Inglewood. We're going to be asking you 7 questions.
Great.
You'll have 10 minutes to answer those questions. You've been through this process, right?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Anytime remaining, you can ask any questions of us. I'll ask first question and then go to my left. So,
Great.
Ready to begin?
Sure.
All right, so Andy, my first question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
Sure. Well, I'm an Inglewood citizen. I love Inglewood. I was on the library board. I had to resign my term due to a long-term illness of a family member that's resolved itself. I have been a longtime volunteer in the area, and I'm a city employee in the city of Denver, and so I know how joyous it is to work with boards and commissions a lot of the time. So, I currently work in the clerk's office. I'm the deputy city clerk or technical city clerk, but I have an elected above me, and so we run the election. So I thought I could be sort of a good voice and helpful in terms of the different pieces on the election commission.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Andy.
Good evening, Andy. I'm Joe Anderson, District 3 Council Member. And you already kind of started to answer this question, but what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the Election Commission, and how would Inglewood benefit from your service on that board?
Sure. I like to say I'm elections adjacent in the Clerk and Recorder's Office. I oversee campaign finance, lobbying, and ethics, as well as our taxpayer-funded election program in Denver, so the $9 million Fair Elections Fund in Denver. But because we are a relatively small office that's all hands on deck, I'm election certified. I am on a number of our committees internally, including ballot review, our election judge committee, our policies and procedures committee. So I come with a lot of knowledge. My background prior to working in government was I was actually a political consultant. So I worked on a lot of campaigns, a lot of raised money. So I understand sort of the election sphere. I work very closely with the SOS, Judd, and all those folks. I work very closely with Arapahoe's Lopez, because I work for a Lopez in Denver, and Carl. So as well as I'm on the program committee for the Council on Governmental Ethics Laws conference. So it's coming to Denver. So I'm sort of tied into what's going on sort of in elections and government ethics and all the fun that involves around that all the time. So, I feel like I can bring a good base of knowledge, as well as sort of knowing the city. I was also part of the team that did the redistricting in Denver with council the last time they did it. So sort of looking at what the commission does, I feel like I can be just an assistance piece, and really I have access to like a lot of resources in Denver that I can like bring over if it's helpful.
Very good. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Jack from District 2. Can you please give us an example of a time that you worked in a group of people with a diverse or opposing perspectives?
Sure. I can harken back to my time on the library board. It's I think it's, as you know, libraries are surprisingly contentious sometimes. I think what we did a lot of work around is when the library was closed due to the meth contamination in the bathrooms. How do you roll it out to the public? How do you continue to serve the public? And sort of working with the board and commission and city staff of, we'll just put a bathroom outside. I'm like, it's getting to be cold outside. Like, I don't think people really want to come here and go in a porta potty. And so, working with the boards and commission, the board, it really sort of was a group effort to try to serve the public and communicate. Also, the library was going through some turmoil in terms of staffing, which I'm sure you all are also aware of. And it was the time that I think now former library director was coming on board. So working with her and really sort of trying to shorten the learning curve on Inglewood and what the library does and what it doesn't and what do we want it to be. Those are very opposing different views on a board and commission. And I come from a very ROI-driven sort of background, and some folks come from a very ethereal, like warm puppies, kittens, and rainbows. And I'm like, we got to serve the public here, right? And so, I think, but I lead with, we're all on the same side. We're all working towards the same goal. We don't need to be adversarial if we disagree. I try to lead with humor as much as I can. Being a government employee, I also know the public is always a joy sometimes. So that's sort of where I sort of go with, and working in politics as well. I've worked with a very large, diverse, opposing views across the board for a long time.
Good evening, Andy. Rita Russell, council member at large. Nice to have you here. What is it that you like most about Inglewood?
I love the small town feel that's sort of surrounded by everything else. It's funny talking to even folks outside and stuff. It's amazing how many people live here that work for other municipalities. I think my partner and I have been here for a while. He's the deputy comms director for the city of Aurora. We just love it here. I love the restaurant scene is surprisingly good and no one talks about it. I'm an Inglewood Tavern aficionado. I'm there all the time. I just like it because it's friendly. I know my neighbors, and you don't tend to get that living in a high rise. I want to give back to a place that I call home in whatever sort of form or fashion that I can be or not be of assistance.
Great, thank you.
Good Good evening, Andy. I'm Tina Prang, also at-large council member. Tell us what you would like to see improved about Englewood relating to the Elections Commission.
Sure, I think communication. And we struggle with it in Denver, so there's no like magic bullet, but especially in Englewood, it seems like turnout is not surprisingly strong in a lot of cases. I think, really I lead on access is the most important part to elections. I also believe turnout is really driven on what's on the ballot. It's really hard to be like, oh, there's one judge you've never heard of. People aren't like flying to the polls, but I think it's how do we improve access? Is there potential for more additional drop boxes? Is there, more pre-education we can do? How do we work with potentially some of the sort of voter-centric, nonpartisan groups, League of Women Voters, things like that, to just educate the public of what's on the ballot, how to return your ballot. It's always a surprise that people don't return their ballots when it comes to their mailbox. I'm just like, if you return it on the first day, the calls and the mail and the text stop most of the time. And so I think communication, especially in things like the specials that you have, I know there's an upcoming special, like the man on the street has no idea that's happening. So how do we sort of work with the communications team and the local media? And then how do we is it potentially more drop boxes? And I know that's working with the county in a lot of cases, but how do we just make it easier while it's an already easy process? I fully understand that, but I think reminding people that there are special district council elections, RTD elections, things that really do impact your local life. Is not always the governor and president and senate. Like, it's you all who make the city run. And so I think some voter education of what the city does and what services you offer, I think would help with turnout.
Great, thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Ward. I represent Council District 4. Question for you is, are you able to attend the meetings? And I think in your case, it might be a little more nuanced because the Elections Commission naturally engages in most of its business around election time, which is probably a pretty peak time of year for the job that you do. So keeping that in mind, do you think that would be a problem?
Yeah, luckily I'm not in the elections division, so I'm adjacent, so I can make time. They sort of pull all hands on deck, but I have no concerns about time commitment. And quite frankly, making time throughout the year if you all want to try new policies and procedures. I'm a policies and procedures dork, much to the dismay of my staff. I am very anal on with the spreadsheet and policies and procedures and review them. But I really working and watching, I am currently working with Albuquerque, who left an entire ballot question off of their ballot. Whoops. And they're working with us and I'm working with them to help them sort of see how we proof the ballot and things. So I like to be a resource in advance because if you make a mistake, it's really expensive.
At least they didn't leave 220 ballots in the ballot box.
I mean,
that's happened here. Not in Arapahoe County.
It has happened in Denver. We've left a couple, so before my time. But I think we can all learn from the mistakes that happen with this. It is a people-powered thing. It tends to be a stand-up thing that you don't think about for 2 or 4 years, and it gets dusty. And so we have all had our election horror stories. We've all been there, and I think it's about just trying to solve as many problems before they arise as possible.
Great, thank you.
We have about 20 seconds. Last question is, how would this benefit you personally or professionally?
I think personally, I love giving back. So I think I could be an additional good help, and I like to give back where I live. So that's why I apply.
That's great. Andy, really appreciate you making time for us tonight.
Sure.
We're going to deliberate tonight. We are making a final decision a week from tonight.
Great.
And then after which you'll hear from our city clerk's office about placements.
Great. Well, and good luck with the rest of your gauntlet. And get some sleep.
I'm ready for a drink.
Did you have council last night too?
We had this last night too.
Oh. You are all wonderful, wonderful civil servants.
Thank you so much.
Have a good one. Thanks, everybody.
I think there's water.
What's that?
There's water.
Oh, I know, I need it too.
Is anybody for here?
Oh.
Break. I think 7:30.
No, actually, let's just move forward, right? Do we need a break or should we just finish the last two?
Yes, the last two.
Let's just do the last two and then we'll take a
If they're
break.
here.
All right.
It's fine, whatever.
You want to do your break after, because they're both here?
Yeah, it's just.
Get it going. Perfect. Got Joel. And then, yeah, Caroline's here, so then we're.
Mr. Olson,
Hello, everyone.
how you doing, Joel?
You look suntan, Joe. Where have you been? You look tan.
They've been outside.
Okay.
Sunny out there.
Joel, thanks for making time for us tonight.
Well, thanks for you guys making time.
Yeah. So Joel,
I know this isn't easy to listen to all these people and it goes on a long time. And so I'll try and be interesting.
Joel, so there's no introduction needed. We know each other well. So tonight we're going to be asking you 7 questions. You'll have 10 minutes to answer those questions. If there's any time remaining at that point, you could ask any questions of us. I'll be asking the first question and then we'll be going to my left with the additional questions.
All right.
Are you ready to begin, Joel?
Yes, sir.
All right. So my first question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
Well, when Linda was on the council, she didn't want me to be on any boards or commissions. So I kept saying, I'd like to do this, and she kept saying, no, it's complicated enough. And so I've had interest for a long time. And so it's only been in the last couple of years that it's been more of an opportunity to do something. What was the question, why? Why now?
Or what motivates you to apply?
I care about this community and I want to make an investment. I want to improve quality of life somehow. I don't have a specific interest in sustainability or parks and rec or whatever. So I signed up, I think, for 4 different things. I want to be engaged and help. I want to get to know my neighbors, I want to get to know what's happening in the city.
Perfect. Thank you, Joel.
I'm retired, I've got time.
That's another question for that, so.
Okay.
Hey, Joel. What knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to the boards that you've applied for, and how would Inglewood benefit from your service on those boards?
I've worked with volunteers most of my life. So when I was a pastor, I was essentially working with volunteers. And then when I was a professor, students really aren't volunteers, but you treat them like volunteers if they're adults. So I have a long history of working with volunteers, engaging them, motivating them, organizing them, and getting them to be engaged and do something. I've had great success with mobilizing volunteers, working with volunteers. So I tell my volunteers that they've got a compass inside of them, and I want to help them discover what it is and where it's going, and then I want to empower them to go out and do it. And so I don't care necessarily what the compass goes. I'm concerned that the individual who's acting on that compass moving forward in a way that's constructive for them and empowering. So I'm really excited about empowering people. That's what I'm mostly motivated for, which fits being a professor, which fits being a pastor. So the whole idea of empowerment of people, enabling people, that's it. I lost track of your question and my answer.
I think you captured most of it. How would Inglewood benefit from your service on the boards and commissions you've applied for?
I have experience with budgets, working with budgets, church budgets, managing the budgets. The churches I worked with weren't huge, so I was the person that was in charge of the budget. I also have experience working with projects. So I have a project management certificate from Colorado Technical University. I taught project management courses. That doesn't mean I know how to do it. But I know teaching is different than doing. So I both taught it and I've actually done it as well. I haven't done huge projects your size. And the projects that I managed were mostly maybe $500,000 kind of projects. They weren't millions and millions of dollars, so not that big of a project.
Very good, thank you.
Mr. Olson.
Hi, Jack.
Good evening, thanks for being here. Can you please describe an experience in the past during which you've worked with a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views or perspectives?
Uh-huh. So I've started to get involved with the Colorado Democratic Party, and I was asked to lead a group of people. And I was asked to lead the group of people because they didn't like each other and they didn't get along. I have a better example. I worked as an interim pastor for 10 years. And my presbytery had me assigned to churches that were in schism or were contentious or were going to die unless they did something. So I worked with 10 different churches, and most of the churches blamed their pastor for their problems. You know, if we just get rid of Steve, just get rid of Tina, and after the fourth one, the presbytery doesn't believe that's the problem anymore. The problem is maybe the congregation itself. And so I was hired by the presbytery to be an interim pastor to help them get together and figure out what was not working. And so I did lots of peacemaking, lots of listening, lots of trying to find common ground, lots of trying to define and get agreement on how we were going to proceed, and then providing accountability. And so if candidate A, B, or C refused to go by what we had agreed by earlier, then to begin to work with some kind of a process, not in a confrontative fashion, but over time, to keep reminding them about that. I have some great stories about churches. So there's this one church I work with where the deacon asked if he could make an announcement at the end of the church service. And I said, sure. So he got up in front and took the microphone and said, the elders and the pastor are out of compliance with the church constitution. And we're gonna have a meeting this afternoon to kick them all out and fire them all. And the meeting is gonna be at 2 o'clock in this meeting, it's placed in the church. And we're gonna pass out flyers at the door for you to get our information and what all's involved. So that was that. And then that led to the heresy trial. So they accused me of being a heretic. Really, they did. And so I said, well, let's have a trial. I'll go to my presbytery. You submit your issues and your questions and your points of division. And I'm under accountability to the presbytery, and I will show it to them. And if they think I need to be rebuked, they're the ones that can rebuke me. Then I'll also stand in front of you and take any questions that you have, answer any questions that you have about where I'm at theologically or biblically, and you can decide if I'm a heretic or not. If I'm a heretic or not, then I shouldn't be here. That was quite a contentious time. But I always tried to take the high road, and I tried to disengage. Disengage. I didn't go to the meeting where they were having their little mutiny. I didn't go to any meeting where they're having a mutiny. I told the elders not to go because we didn't want to engage. We want to take the high road and do the right thing, good thing. And I thought that over time the congregation would be able to see the difference. You've got the pastor and the elders doing this kind of thing. You've got the circle of people doing this kind of thing. Where do you want the church to go? And the church decided that they wanted to go in the direction of kindness, listening, and mercy. And that group of people left the church. And that was wonderful for the church because then that group had left the church. For decades, there's been a problem with them. They're always looking to see who stepped over the line. You're close to the line, and then they go and talk to the elders and say, brother over here is close to the line, we think we should kick him out.
Yeah, don't look at me.
Joe, we have a little bit over 2 minutes for the last 4 questions.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've been in very contentious situations. Those are the best ones. Do you ask me for the most recent? No, you just asked me for one.
Yeah.
So the most recent would be trying to make harmony with all these political people who don't like each other. Your turn.
Good evening, Joel.
Oh,
No, it's
you're
my turn. It's nice to see you here this evening. My question for you is, what do you like most about Englewood?
I like it small enough to make a difference. Denver is so big, so unwieldy. It's very difficult to get change in Denver because of the size of the whole thing. Englewood is a smaller group of people, smaller neighborhoods. Things can happen and change can happen in Englewood that are manageable and big. In Denver, it just seems like, for example, impossible. Federal government seems impossible. How can you affect change? So I like the fact that Inglewood is of a size where change can happen. You know, and we all agree on that. It's a matter of finding the best kind of changes that benefit the most people.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Good evening, Joel.
Hi.
No introductions needed, I'm sure, with any of us in the room probably. So what would you like to see improved in Inglewood relating to any of the boards or commissions that you're interested in?
I think the city has done a lot in really positive directions. I like the neighborhood emphasis, give a sense of neighborhood and the parks, and have neighborhood names. Placemaking, I like what's happening with placemaking. I like what's happening with art in the city. I like what's happening with social issues like homelessness in the city. Affordability for housing is a big thing. My son can't afford a house. He's 40. He's got a job. He makes 6 figures. He can't afford a house in Inglewood, Denver, anywhere, unless we make it happen. You know, the parents. A lot of people in that generation are that way, so I'm concerned about that.
Joel, we are at time, unfortunately. So,
Steve, thanks. The answer to your question is yes, most definitely.
All right.
so Joel, thank you very much for making time for us tonight. We're going to deliberate after the next candidate, and then we'll make a final decision a week from tonight.
Okay.
After which you'll hear from the city clerk's office about placement.
Thank you for taking me before your break.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joel. It's great to see you. Have a good evening.
By the way, neither Steve or I are easy to get rid of in your.
That's fine.
All right,
You want to
sounds
break
good.
after that then?
Yeah, and we'll
Okay.
take a break afterwards.
Perfect, and go ahead and sit back there.
Hello, Caroline.
Hello.
Tu padre. How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Thanks for making time for us tonight.
Yeah, no, thank you for making time.
You are our last interview for the night.
Oh, I
so-
know, I heard, so
Yeah.
I'll just drag this one out and.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Details.
Yeah, well, you got about 10 minutes.
Okay.
Anyway, Caroline, we are giving you 10 minutes. You have 7 questions to answer those.
Awesome,
7 questions within 10 minutes. If there's any time remaining, you could ask any questions of us.
perfect.
I will be asking the first question, then we're just going to be going to my left. And actually, so you actually got me thrown off. If there's any time remaining after the 10 or after the 7 questions, you're free to ask any questions of us. So
Okay.
that's the one last piece I forgot to add. So are you ready to begin?
I am.
All right. So Caroline, my first question for you is, what motivates you to apply for an Inglewood board at this time?
So I recently, I guess a year and a half ago, purchased my first home in Inglewood. I had the thought to get involved. I guess there were a few things, like I had across the street from us a house. Actually, you came out to
Oh, that's
see
right. Yes.
to see a tree that
Yes,
was
yes.
being cut down. And for work, I look at a lot of municipal codes. I do environmental consulting. And so I see a lot of codes for a lot of cities across the United States and Canada and Mexico. And so I was hoping there was something that had a tree protection for like a certain, circumference. And there wasn't. So I had wanted to get involved at that point. I had some personal things I wasn't able to, but I guess it made me want to get involved at a municipal level and be able to make a difference in certain codes or permitting.
Sounds great. No, thank you very much for your willingness to serve. Thank you.
Yeah.
Good evening, Caroline. Joe Anderson, District 3 Council Member. My question for you tonight is, what knowledge, skills, or abilities would you bring to, I guess it looks like you applied for the State Sustainability Commission.
Yes.
And how would Inglewood benefit from your service on that board?
So for work, I work for an infrastructure engineering company. So we work on really large projects and I do environmental consulting. So what I do all day, I guess, is look at different state, local, and municipal level codes. And so I'm very well-versed in how to read those. And I've seen at like a cellular level what works and what doesn't to actually prevent things or, you know, conserve the environment of an area or embrace certain aspects of sustainability in an area. So I think that that would allow me to serve a beneficial role on the Sustainability Commission.
Very good. Good evening. My name is Jack. I am with District 2. Question for you tonight. Can you please describe an experience in the past during which you worked in a group of people with diverse and sometimes opposing views or perspectives?
I guess a lot of the time, what I do is I work in our environmental department on a project, and I essentially am very frequently the bad guy saying what we can't do. Oh, you can't build that in a wetland, or if you do, it's going to be very expensive. And so I think being able to work day in and day out with, we're essentially the only ones, it feels like we're policing them, but it is effective if, you know, I feel like I do a good job of making sure that it feels like we're all on the same team. We all have a similar goal. We're all, you know, it seems like competing ideas, but really it's a common interest of doing something that is good, in that case for a project, but good for the city and making sure that it's able to progress, but maintain the natural environment as well as improving upon the build.
Good evening, Carolyn. It's nice to have you here this evening. I'm Rita Russell, one of the at-large council members. My question for you is, what do you like most about Inglewood?
I love Inglewood. I feel like I didn't really spend a lot of time here until we moved here, and it feels like a small town with a main street. I live on Bannock, right off of Broadway, and I feel like I love going to all of the small businesses, and you know, there's amazing restaurants, and it feels so lively in the, like right on Broadway. It's like a small town so close to a big city. I think it's like the perfect community.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Good evening, I'm Tina Prang. I'm also an at-large council member. What would you like to see improved in Inglewood relating to sustainability?
I think that obviously I had a, you know, tree idea. I think that that's something that's pretty doable in terms of, you know, introducing something that would prevent the very old tree canopy of Inglewood from being, you know, deteriorated. But also I think that municipal composting or like composting drop-offs are things that are doable that a lot of other municipalities do. I really like the, I know that there's like a subcommittee of native garden, and I feel like I've tried to start doing that in our yard. We're de-lawning, working on soil health right now. It's a process. But I love that there's initiatives like that to make sure that we're supporting the natural biodiversity and the habitats for indigenous plants and other fauna, flora.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, I'm Steve Ward. I represent Council District 4, and my question for you is, are you able to attend the regularly scheduled schools?
Yes, I am. That was an easy one.
Caroline, I have the last question. So how will your service on this board benefit you as an Inglewood citizen, either professionally or personally?
I think that it will benefit me in that obviously when a ecosystem or city flourishes, all of the members of the community flourish. So I think that on a personal level, I would love to see more sustainable practices and or just even options for people who live in Inglewood. On a professional level, I guess it'll be a really interesting way to apply what I do on a daily basis from the other side. So I'm excited for that opportunity. Also, I went to law school at CU, and so I think being able to apply that and see that from the other side is something that's exciting.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
Caroline, we still have 2.5 minutes left. Any questions for us?
I guess I know that there are initiatives and that there are things that are like the 2026, 2030 plan.
The strategic plan?
Yes. So how would it look, I guess, to have new people coming on? Is there still time to like have an impact on that, or is that?
Did you fill out the survey? There was a survey that, okay, so there was that aspect. I guess and anybody jump in on this one as well. Obviously, we'll be setting the strategic plan here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It is an organic document in a sense, so there's still ways for us to have individual goals or what are the things called right underneath them? There's kind of like just, what's that?
Projects?
Yeah, like projects, that roll up to the strategic plan, to the pillars that we have identified. So there's always ways for you as a citizen, but also the board members to participate by voicing things that you want to see as part of that. So it's like I said, it's organic, so there's still ways, regardless of whether or not you're on the board or whether or not we set it in 2 weeks.
Right. Awesome. I guess I don't really have any other questions.
Okay.
But I appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, Caroline, thank you so much. Actually, I was going to ask a quick question, just because we met during the tree that went down on your block. Would you also be interested in another board, just because of your background, Code Enforcement Advisory Committee?
Yeah.
Because that's where the tree.
Yeah, that's more.
It started there, right? The
Code enforcement?
Code enforcement, I'm trying to think, the tree.
Tree preservation?
Tree preservation, yeah. That started in code enforcement, if I remember correctly. Or did it start in sustainability?
Well, it actually, we had trees talked about in code enforcement, but mostly dead trees that people were going to remove. Was this a dead tree?
No, it was like a really beautiful old tree. I heard multiple rumors that it was the oldest tree in Inglewood.
Right.
It was really sad.
Yeah.
But the house that was on the property was condemned, and then when they tore down the house to, I guess, build something else.
Yeah.
They tore down the tree. It was sort of right in the middle of
It
the
was right in the
property.
middle, yeah.
Yeah.
That conversation came through Parks and Rec.
Oh, it's Parks and Rec, okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
So there's another board that would be.
But yeah, I would be interested.
All right. Well, Caroline, thank you very much for your
thank
time
you so
tonight. It's
much.
great to see you again. We are going to deliberate now. We're going to take a short day, but we won't make a final decision until next Tuesday night.
Okay.
After which somebody from the city clerk's office will reach out to you.
Great.
So,
Thank
Caroline,
you
thank you so much.
It's
You
nice
have a
to
great
meet all of
evening.
you. Nice seeing you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
All right, everyone, shall we take a quick break and then just reconvene once we are ready? So, all right.
Have you ever been?
Oh, does he?
It's, what it's got in it is Italian sausage and kale. Potatoes. So I made it.
Oh, I
That
can.
is Dan's favorite.
That sounds really good. But how did you find tomatoes? Do you do it with
It
tomatoes?
doesn't have tomatoes in it at all.
It
All it has is kale, and potatoes and Italian sausage, and then you put onions and spices and chicken broth.
Oh, okay.
So, and actually I got the recipe came in one of those King Soopers coupon things.
Yeah.
And it calls for nochi. And I thought, I bet you if you put potatoes in here, it would be the same thing. And it was.
It sounds like it also could call for a really nice, at least medium heat green chili. How did I get this one?
Oh, that, this here, green chili. Hell no.
Yes. If you don't like it spicy, you can still bring the flavor in by doing like a mild green chili. But that kind of, like that color and consistency of a soup.
Right. Are you going to the restaurant? Then I'm not going to change. Then I'm not going back.
I like how they, did you see the water and sewer board? They put our names on there on the very end that were, did you see that? City clerk's office put that. I think the packet from today.
Oh.
So they have you, me, and Rita as the liaison. So she just automatically filled those in. I just find it funny. It's gonna be tough.
It is.
It's gonna be tough. A lot of deserving candidates. Actually, I'm gonna put some water.
Yeah, like very
Put it for my
few
drink
spots
now.
to fill.
Yeah. I think this is actually gonna be this is the time that the most people won't get a
Yeah, yeah, it's,
that we've been on.
I mean, what, we got maybe half as many slots as we have people. It's rough. And I want a bunch of these people to come back and apply again. Often, if they apply once and don't get it, they're never coming back.
Well, I'm trying to think. This is the time of year that we get the most applicants.
Yeah,
In the summer, it's not as many.
it's true, yeah.
And I wonder, is part of it just the fact that it's a new year and like new, kind of like a resolution to get more involved and that type of thing that people, but no, it's before the cutoff.
Yeah.
The cutoff is back
in December.
early
15th.
December, yeah.
People are just busy in the summer.
Yeah, during the summer, you got summer vacation, you got kids and.
But I'm looking at like so many of them, there's not even any open spots at all if we
No.
do reappointments, you know?
Right.
We,
I just have a question about that. I don't have any issue with it, but.
Yeah.
But there are term limits to all of these boards, right? Except
Yeah.
water and sewer, I believe. Jackson, are you able to check on that? I think water and sewer is the only one that doesn't have term limits, right? Let me check.
They had,
Do they? Do you know, Jackie?
I think so. I think they all have 3 years, but.
I don't think water and sewer does.
I don't know what it's like now, but there were some old guys
Yeah.
on that board that have been there for a very long time.
No, it's
When
actually
I was
6-year terms. That's
So,
the water and sewer board you're asking?
Yeah, but it's a 6-year term.
6-year term, how many terms?
But how many
Term
terms,
limit.
yeah, how many terms are they able to serve?
Hmm.
I don't think there's a limit. The reason why I say that is because there was a gentleman on there that had been serving since the nineties. Yeah.
It sounds like probably not. But let me look at the charter and see if it's.
And I'm saying that, but he may have stepped off for a while or whatever and came back, but I remember somebody remarking that, no, he's been serving since the nineties.
Doesn't say anything about term limit.
Yeah, so I think that's the only one though. I think everyone else, every other board has a finite amount.
That's maybe something we should do for water and sewer.
I believe they were potentially looking at that. I haven't been to every single meeting, but I think that that's one of the things that they discussed. There's a couple other things that they said that they need to make changes to their charter.
Because, it makes sense to do reappointments if they're recommended.
Yeah, exactly.
If there's term limits, but if there's no term limit, then
Yeah,
then you get the same
and
people.
for that one specifically,
decades.
Tammy's only been there once. And she filled in the seat. She hasn't been there 6 years yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fantastic. She participates, she knows her stuff, so.
Because remember Moore he's been on there the longest, it's 2015.
We just checked. There are no term.
Yeah, John he's been on longest, 2015.
2015 and we're 26.
And I
But also that board, it makes sense to have,
And it's 6-year terms.
that board seems a little bit more
But I
consequential.
thought in our board and commission policy I thought that's where we had it. You already looked it up, Jackson?
I didn't see in charter, but I did look in the board and commission policy.
I think it's in the policies. Let me- Page 9 of the policy.
How much did you bench press today, Jack?
What was I benching? 185 for sets of 6.
Yeah, it just says no person shall serve on the same board, commission, or committee more than 3 terms.
Okay, so it's 18
It's in the
years.
policy.
More than 3 terms, okay.
And then we have like stipulations if they fill up for somebody that resigns, like a half a year wouldn't count in
Yeah.
the term, those kind of things.
Yeah, okay,
Thought it was somewhere, so.
cool, there you go. 6-year terms on water and sewer, I wonder what that is. Is that part of charter? Water and sewer, is that one of the charter?
It is one of the charter boards, does it have the?
Well, it's a quasi board, but I don't know if they,
What, it's water and sewer,
Said it.
elections?
not elections, planning and zoning, BOA, historic society now, historic preservation, and then, I didn't think election was a quasi.
Oh, but it's just quasi judicial, but it's not part of our charter though.
No.
That's stipulated in our charter.
Elections is, I think, in the charter, but not quasi judicial.
Not quasi judicial,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, I don't know how they, well, I'm sure back in the day, that's how they. Does it say it in their bylaws about their term limits? Maybe we're looking-
And what are certainly like.
It said 6 years, so maybe that's something we created in their bylaws.
I prefer to drink out of a can than a bottle. Tastes different to me.
Oh, I'm the other way around.
Really?
Bottle too. Or on ice, it has to be on ice too.
I would prefer it on
I
ice.
cannot give you my response on the record.
Oh, it's true. Yeah. The room is listening.
I also prefer serving method, but we can give it on the record.
Oh, another good one.
All right.
All right, we're all back. Still
Oh,
recording.
yeah, Jackie, you already took your seat? No, what's that?
We're still recording, just.
Yeah, we're still recording. All right, cool. All right, everyone, yeah, so that has concluded all the interviews for the boards and commissions. So now we're going to just discuss the 2 days of interviews, try to get a kind of an understanding of where we would like to place individuals. I think the very first question I want to ask is everyone okay with just placing the appointments to their specific board? Everyone did receive a recommendation from
Chair.
the chair of that board, so.
And submitted their attendance records.
I'm good with that. I can speak to the credibility of the recommendations for the Parks and Rec reappointments. Very active members,
Yeah.
always there, like, absolutely, they should be
Yeah.
appointed.
Yeah, I don't think that there's any question. I don't see anybody having a disagreement there, but, okay.
Right, and I agree too with all the boards. I sit on, I think the reappointments were great. I actually do think council members that sit on these boards should have input too, so.
All right, anyone else want to? Yeah, I was going to say, for sustainability, also water and sewer board, Cammie's fantastic there. Sustainability, Hillary is constantly engaged, and those are stuff. I'm trying to think if there's any other boards I serve on, but that may be it.
I know the pension board, Robert Stephenson is doing a great idea.
Okay.
Great job.
E-Tech, I would definitely recommend reappointing all those. Which is, you know, I wish we could get some of these new people in there too, but.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, so then I guess, should we just start at the top and go with, we'll just go through the boards and see if there's any kind of recommendations, unless anybody wants to speak about any candidates that they heard of, but probably best to just go through the boards, correct? All right. All right, so Board of Adjustment Appeals, this technically may be an easy choice unless anybody has anything different. It looks like you've already, I just noticed this, Jackie, you went ahead and appointed John to the longer term, which leaves a regular member and alternate member. We have 2 others that were interested in that position. You guys fine with Mary and Julia in those 2 spots?
You know, Mary did not really apply for Board of Adjustment and Appeals. She applied for Cultural Arts Committee, and I don't think Mary is necessarily a good fit on here.
Okay. So she did, she added several of them, but she did say CAC was her first choice.
She sent an email out to Monday asking for these other boards.
For the other boards?
Yeah, she had sent an email and I forwarded it on to council, I believe.
Okay, but she's not on the list of, although she's not on the list of those things, right?
Mary Kester?
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, she's on the BOA up here.
Oh, we got an updated one.
We got an,
Oh, did it?
Is that one should have it though. Yeah, the one I gave you would be updated. She's just not on.
Okay,
Is it on that list?
I have this one. She's still on there, but I don't
But the one we
think-
sent out last week, she was not on because she asked for Monday. And maybe some of the other cheat sheets she's not on yet.
Okay.
Yeah, she's
and-
there.
Well, she's here, but I don't think,
Her application didn't say it, but she sent an email Monday asking for 2 other boards also.
Right.
What was the other one other than CAC?
no, she's here. Well, I don't know. Is she on Cultural Arts? Her name isn't down there on the Cultural Arts.
But it might be when she didn't.
I wrote it.
She might have said that like at the end of when you guys asked what other boards.
I have on her notes that she's open to all boards.
Yeah.
That she's interested in serving her community
Okay,
where she fits best.
okay. I'm not sure she would fit real good on the Board of Adjustment.
Okay, so we could, but we're fine with Julia Porter as the regular member?
What would happen if we put her as the alternate and give her an opportunity to see if she likes it.
For Julia Porter or for Mary?
For Mary.
No, for Julia.
Oh.
And the reason I'm saying that, she still, if not everybody is there, she will still be able to be part of the quorum.
Isn't there, how many members is it part of Board of Adjustment and Appeals? Isn't it 3? So wouldn't they need?
I don't know. Jackson, do you know that?
I'm looking right now, sorry.
Okay.
So wait, we have one reappointment, we need one regular member and one alternate.
Correct.
I thought that Julia was really strong
Yeah.
with boards and adjustments.
I concur.
I think her skill set is really, really strong. And probably like her mindset and how
Yeah.
she presented herself, I think would match that.
The one thing that troubled me a little bit is, it's her decision wouldn't always be made on what's right. She said this, but on what's fair. And Board of Adjustment and Appeals, you're making opinions. They're asking for an adjustment, but I think you have to take the law into consideration.
And there's 6 members right now on that board.
There's 6 members?
It calls for 7 plus an alternate.
Okay. Perfect. All right, so I think I heard from a majority that we're fine adding Julia as a regular member. We'll leave the alternate open as of this time unless there's another name that somebody wants to consider. No? Okay. We'll come back to that at the end. Code Enforcement Advisory, there's 2 names. I'll jump in. Cindy, I think, for an alternate member, she's volunteered quite a bit in the community to begin with. She's obviously she kind of showcased it during the interview yesterday as well. I'd be happy to just add her in that spot.
I agree.
Okay. Any disagreement?
I agree. She's been here longer also.
Yeah. All right, cultural arts. So, you know,
Andrew Forline's on another board already?
Yes.
Yes, he is.
He's on
I
Budget
feel like we
Advisory.
shouldn't probably appoint him. if we
That
have as many
that was kind of my
applicants
thought
as
as
we
well.
have.
Since we don't have enough seats for everyone, I'd be fine with not considering Andrew for.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that.
For cultural arts, I guess we have Mary, Sherry, Stewart, and Joel, since I do have Mary on this list. The 2 that kind of stuck out to me were Stewart.
Just a regular and one alternate.
Mary, Sherry, Stewart, and
Joel.
Joel.
The 2 that kind of stood out to me were Stewart for 1.
Yeah.
That was one that stood out for me. And then also Sherry tonight stood out for me as well.
Yes.
And I would have it in that order. Stewart as the regular, Sherry as the alternate.
Like that.
I think I would flip that, but I can live with it.
Okay. All right. Moving on to election commission. Anybody want to speak up on this? I really like Andy.
I like
I
Andy.
really like Andy for this too.
Yeah.
I also I liked Craig a lot for
I did
this
too.
too.
Kind of look like you. The beard. Not the reason why I like him, but yeah. So
One of
Craig
the
and
reasons
Andrew.
that I liked Craig was that he really spoke to the importance of words and
Yeah.
language on ballots, and that really stood out to me.
He was very measured. He was very measured during the
Yes.
discussion
Yeah,
yesterday.
Very
So, the terms are the same, so there's no need. So Craig and Andy, are we good with that?
Yep.
Inglewood Retirement Pension Board, so we didn't have any applicants for that, but we could come back to that. I'm not sure if there's a placement for some of the individuals to this. I didn't really think about it, but we can come back to that.
And Monica said they could wait till summer,
Okay.
the staff, because I think they only have one more meeting before summer.
Right, we only meet quarterly.
Okay. E-Tech, all 3 seats are taken, unfortunately.
Bummer.
Can't just create another 3 seats right now.
Yeah.
It's not the worst idea I've heard, frankly. I mean, it's one of the more controversial ideas in the city that requires a lot of input and work, and people are We're doing a lot of transportation
Yeah.
infrastructure stuff these days, so.
So what were you saying there? What's the?
Joe's throwaway suggestion, but I think it's not the worst idea I've heard, which is to add 3 seats
To do what?
to the ETAC. Just add seats.
Well,
How many seats are there currently? I mean,
5, I think. I think it's 5 seats.
that's a small board.
It's a small board. I think that,
There's been several times where we haven't had a quorum.
Yeah.
Or where we've had a quorum of 3, which I just don't,
it's not the same.
I don't like that, especially when there's so much interest in the board.
I'm not sure 3 is the number.
Yeah, maybe.
But
And you guys added seats, like, you had alternates to sustainability a while back, just because they weren't filling it to see if it worked.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's just an idea, but yeah, there's
Yeah.
5 members for E-Tech.
is that something that we're able to do tonight, or is that something that we would have to do?
I think we have
I would
to
not do
change
tonight.
That's what I thought. You can't change
Ordinance.
tonight, right? Yeah.
Right.
I believe I think it came to council for the sustainability, and then later on, you guys added on.
I'd be open, so let's make a point to do that, especially if it's
Is it-
that board.
Possible to add them and, add 1 or 2 or 3 seat, whatever the right number is, and appoint some of these people who've applied, or is that? That's gonna be
Well, we
too
couldn't
far
do
to
the
be
appointment
ordinance.
tonight because the seats don't exist.
Right.
There's no
Right.
room.
Right.
But what I would suggest doing, if we're gonna talk about process on this, is have a study session, decide whether or not that's what we wanna do, and then take the applicant pool that we've already interviewed and insert them into those seats.
I agree.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right.
So real quick.
yeah.
You want a study session on that?
Yes.
So I'll add that to, the parking lot during the mayor manager meeting.
Do we need a full study session?
Well, it'd just be
Should be a fairly short
It'll be
discussion,
pretty
but-
short, yeah.
Yeah, and then they can come back, I think it's I don't know if it's a resolution or ordinance, we'll have to check what they did with sustainability, okay.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
Moving on to Parks and Rec, we have 3 reappointments, leaving 2 regular member seats. Any suggestions here, because this is also a tight?
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So Jackie, on these where it says, 1 regular member, 2/3/25 to 2/7/28, 25 was a year ago
Well, they're filling the positions of people that resigned
from that
from that, so their position would technically start
now.
now, but this is just showing that
And
they're
in
filling a
2028.
position. They're taking over who resigned.
So the 3
Oh,
reappointments
those
go to
should say
the bottom.
2026, yes.
They should say
The
26?
bottom 3 should.
Oh, the bottom 3 should say 26.
Actually, I think all of them should say 2026.
I was gonna say, I think they all, yeah. I think it's
Yes,
just-
you're correct, but the top 2 are filling in resigned, yes, and I will update that, thank you. I'm writing 2027 on some things right now, so I just can't keep the dates straight.
I'm not sure what year it is.
2026.
So yes, those will get changed to 2026, and the top 2 are ones that resigned.
All right, so then for the 2 seats,
I thought Emily Gonzalez was a standout candidate, and she has a proven history of contributions to the park, so.
I agree.
I agree.
Have her.
I also have Kate Fuller as a standout candidate.
I agree with that too.
I really liked Nick George as well. I
Same
like
here.
Kate Fuller, but I also liked Nick George.
I had both
as
of them
well.
as well, like in terms of 1A, 1B kind of thing, so I'd be fine with Kate, just because I think Nick also put in for sustainability, so
Okay.
we'll just see, but yeah,
I think Kate would be really strong there.
yeah,
Just
I agree.
she's full
how
of
she
energy.
approaches her thinking and the types of questions she asks, I think would provide some needed question asking. And also like some balance to the energy in the room.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
So Emily and Kate?
Emily and Kate, correct.
I would also like to point out that Emily noted that she would be open to other boards as well.
That's part of the email from today.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in her interview,
Good
but I do have her as like a standout candidate.
Yeah.
Multiple
Okay.
points. So if we could use her in other places as well,
Yeah, that's a good point.
because she is.
I liked her a lot too, and if we can use her elsewhere, I actually really liked Carrie Gilliland.
Oh, yeah.
Parks and Rec too.
So
I just think putting Emily on parks is a kind of a full circle.
it does make sense, yeah, she was really involved with Friends of Inglewood Parks back before we even thought about the phone or things like that, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. All right, so we're moving on to planning and zoning. That one's already set. Public library board's also set. Sustainability. I think this is our last chance to really find homes for many. So Hillary is a regular reappointment, which leaves a regular member as well as 2 alternate members. I'll just say the 3 names that I had here. I had Caroline, Eric, and Nick for the 3 here. Just because
I agree with that.
I'm
I
sorry, go
liked
ahead.
Robert for this one.
You like Robert for this one?
I also liked Robert's kind of engineering brain for this. I think it brings a neat perspective and a problem-solving aspect to it.
Eric stood out for me tonight just from the conversation around the cost benefits, obviously the fact that he's got an engineering background. Really, I believe he said he owns his own company, right? Is that what he does? He's the one with the oil and gas, West Texas thing that he brought up.
Really liked his, it seems like his specialty is identifying projects that are actually gonna have a good ROI.
Yeah.
What are the best projects? And I think that's the biggest thing with sustainability is there's a million things you could do, but how do we choose the best one? Have somebody who has the actual experience in that area. It'd be really good. But
Yeah, I think that Eric and Robert have a similar background, and you bring up a good point that Eric has this kind of industrial scale and finding solutions that are gonna work. That brings a big advantage.
Yeah. So are we good with Eric or just we could still keep talking if there's anyone else that you want to highlight for him tonight?
I'm not opposed. I just want to come back to Robert
Okay.
and I really liked his focus on life cycle analysis and relating that to sustainability. So that kind of, for me, they're relatively equal.
Right.
I think also, I've just had interactions with him over email and just really appreciated how he approached things in presenting concerns and just kind of the level-headedness that he brought.
Right.
And I agree with that as well.
I think it's pretty bold to talk about oil and gas during an interview for the Sustainability Commission. So I'm frankly, I liked that about Eric. So I would favor him.
So we have Eric and Robert, I guess. Well,
and
just more.
Nick? I'd like to see Eric and Nick. I'd be fine with Robert or Karen. Those were my 2.
Yeah.
I thought they were all quality candidates.
Actually, we had a lot of great candidates for everything.
Yeah. I think it's really hard. So let me come back to Nick. When I think about Nick's interview, I actually really like him for parks. To be honest, like Nick, he kind of stood out for me in terms of just he came in with a specific mindset pre-kids, and then once he had kids, I think Kate also said something similar, I believe, during her interview, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like that just kind of stands out to me in terms of like, oh, well, I realized that this is an issue that we probably should be, fixated on as part of the parks and that kind of thing. So I don't know, that's just something that stood out to me. I guess Kate would also be making that same type of recommendation, same type of view of things, but. So, I don't know, it's hard. We're gonna leave off qualified candidates this time around regardless, so it's just something. So I guess, from what I'm hearing that Robert's someone that we want to add to sustainability. Eric, is Eric the other name here for sustainability?
I feel like Robert and Eric have very similar
Maybe
backgrounds.
we can use one of, was Robert open to working in other areas? I don't recall that from his.
I think
I just would like to pull him in somewhere. I think
Okay.
he's got a voice that could be helpful to the city.
Okay.
URA. That's the other one.
Isn't that what he wanted? But then wasn't he the one that we said it only meets once a year?
That was once a year. Can't remember if that was him or not. So if we,
So I know
so
Kate
say
brought
we
it
did
up.
Eric instead of Robert, who would the other person be?
So it would be Nick and Caroline if we.
We have 3
Oh, 'cause
total.
we have 3, okay.
Wait, why isn't the URA on the list?
It is on the very
Back
back.
to the very, very,
So-
very bottom.
Are you?
I liked,
You have 2 members for URA.
I have notes from Nick's interview, and I liked his example of sort of challenging conventional beliefs. When he talked about how he worked with his company on their recruiting policy and how they were potentially not getting the right applicants. It resonates with me for a number of reasons, not the least of which is it involves HR not thinking clearly, but that example, I think, would be helpful and for a more well-rounded approach. If we put 2 engineers on the group, I'm not sure that we're getting the same well-rounded approach we would get if we put, he's in, what does it say, software or something like that? So similar, but not in the exact same.
But you're talking about Eric, right?
Nick.
Eric and Nick
Oh, Nick.
would be my second for sustainability. I think.
Okay.
He's also a District 4 resident.
Okay.
I'm not sure we've appointed any of those yet.
I tend to agree with you now that I think about it more on Nick. I did like that he challenged the thinking of his industry. That speaks to a lot of strength to me.
All right,
This
so
is second choice. What was
Parks
his
and
first
Rec.
choice?
Parks and Rec was his first choice.
Okay. Did we already fill that?
Yeah.
Yes, right now we have.
Okay.
So am I hearing Eric and Nick as 2 so far, and then just coming down to Robert or Caroline for the last one?
Yeah.
And it's an alternate seat. My choice there, well, do we want to go to URA and just see if it makes sense to?
That doesn't help me at all because then
No.
Eric is there and I like him for that. Even though I think he could be used elsewhere, but he was a really interesting interview and I
He
think
was.
his demeanor is
I think that
refreshing
He
in
was,
surprising
yeah.
ways, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely a different kind of thinker. I think we should bring him in somewhere if we can.
I actually had him as one of the regular members
Yeah.
for URA.
Eric struck me as the kind of guy that could take the URA from 1 meeting per year to,
Thank you,
he
yes.
could revive that committee if he wanted to.
But we have to have a project, that's why it's not.
Yeah,
He will find
And
a
we have to
project.
be willing,
that's the point. Is that-
and we have to be willing to swing the government axe pretty hard too.
Yeah.
All right, so Eric is one of the members for URA. Do we have a second name there? Maria was the first speaker tonight.
That was one of Joel's.
Yeah. Eric, or we have Mary as an option here. I kind of like Maria as part of this board.
I like Maria a lot as well. I've noticed that her,
I could be okay with that.
Okay.
Did we finish up sustainability?
No, we're going back to that.
We're gonna come back to, okay.
Since we didn't put Rob there, then
Yeah.
we have Rob as an option here.
Yeah, I think Maria would fit on URA. We really don't do anything. That's
No,
the thing.
exactly, yeah.
We approve the budget once a year, it's like $5,000 or something.
Mhm.
And then we talk about what happens if we find a project, but
Whatever happens.
no.
So, but we'll add those 2 names,
So Eric and Maria?
Eric and Maria for there, and then coming back, we have,
Eric Gilliland, is that who you mean?
yeah,
And Maria?
and Maria, correct.
Maria's son.
And then for here, for going back to sustainability, we have Eric and Nick.
You have Eric as the regular?
I don't think we've decided that yet. I think I would like Eric as the regular member, Nick as the alternate.
That fits, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Do they have 2 alternates?
They have 2 alternates, yeah.
Yeah. Carolyn
Caroline and Robert. Yeah.
I mean, you sit on sustainability, what would balance out the room more?
So with the names that we've already added, if we're adding Eric and Nick, that balances it out.
Okay.
In terms of just
So let me rephrase, what do you want more of? I'm trying to
I
help
feel
you
like
there.
Well, Caroline seems to have like a deep background in that space, just based on what she just stated tonight.
Mhm.
But Robert is an engineer and does have a passion for it as well, so you kind of, we have some of that already on sustainability, but we also have people that have that knowledge on sustainability. So
Yeah.
honestly, it's a coin flip. It is. So it's really just what the six of us can come to an
I
agreement.
like Caroline.
Caroline?
I'm good.
I'm good with
So we'll add Caroline as an alternate member. So we said Eric as the regular member, Nick as the alternate.
Yes.
And Caroline as the alternate.
Yes.
Can I suggest Dan Lorden for Board of Adjustment and Appeals?
He's on P and Z. He applied for P and Z, but there's no open spots.
I think you'll fit well there, actually.
Okay, I'd be up for that. Yeah, Dan Lorden for BOA, alternate.
If he's willing, he didn't.
If he's willing, yeah, we would have to ask, but. How often do they meet? Is it as
Probably as needed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we okay asking Dan Lorden for that spot? The alternate on Board Adjustment and Appeals?
Yeah.
All right, let me see if we have everything filled in. I believe we do. We don't have to fill in the Retirement Pension Board at this time. I think that's everyone. Jackie, do you want me to read the names?
That'd be great.
All right, so for Board of Adjustment and Appeals, regular member, we have Julia Porter, regular member, reappointment John Cole, and as the ultimate member, Dan Lorden. Code Enforcement Advisory Committee, we have Cindy Chaddick for the alternate member. Cultural Arts Commission, we have Stu and Sherry, Stu being the regular member, Sherry being the alternate. Election Commission, we have Craig and Andy, both terms are the same, so no difference there. Leaving Inglewood Retirement Pension Board blank outside of just the reappointment for Rob Stevenson. Inglewood Transportation Advisory Committee, the three reappointments, Neil, Jacob, and Jake. Parks and Rec Commission, we have Jenna, Cody, and Kristen as the regular member reappointments. Emily Gonzalez and Kate Fuller as the two regular members. Planning and Zoning Commission, Dan Renson as the reappointment.
David, you mean?
David, sorry, yeah. And then Dina Phelps as the reappointment for Public Library Board. Sustainability Commission, we have regular member Hillary Kieran as the reappointment, regular member Eric Reitze. Nick George as the alternate member, as well as Caroline as the alternate member. Urban Renewal and Authority, we have Eric Gilliland, as well as Maria Simon as the regular members. And then Water and Sewer Board, Cammy as the reappointment.
Perfect.
All right, well, and do you mind reaching out to Dan to just find out if he's okay with the
Yep, I'll reach out to him and I'll figure out you those dates.
All right, everyone, I think that concludes tonight. With that, everyone, we will see you next Tuesday night. Everyone have a good evening. This meeting is adjourned. Have a good night.
Wow.